Oh, good afternoon to you once again, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Super Saturday. I'm 100% sure that you will be blessed. You joined today. You'll be glad you came today. We have a wonderful guest today on our live show, and his name is Dr. Charles Apoki. He's going to be speaking to us on a wonderful topic: emerge the rise of a new nation, the rise of a nation. So I want to encourage you, please make sure you don't leave the channel. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic. Hello, Dr. Luther.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on our show today. We celebrate you, sir. Thank you so much. I know
you're welcome.
You've had a busy day already. Thank you for sparing us, this little time just to have a chat with us. God bless you, sir.
You're welcome.
But for those of us that are just joining or don't know, Dr. Charles Apoki is one of the leading voices in Nigeria about a new Nigeria, that he wants to see in his lifetime, just like the one he saw when he was younger. He has so many stories to tell us about Nigeria when Nigeria was still in infancy, and the difference between that Nigeria and the Nigeria now. So he has been championing the cause for a new Nigeria, and it's such a privilege to have him in our midst today. Thank you very much again for joining us, Doctor. Without further ado, I just want to quickly go to the question, who is Dr. Charles Apoki? So people will have an idea of who we are today.
Okay, most people who have seen me online see me as the mystery man that was preaching in the rain, talking about how the oligarchy fights. I'm an Urobo man from Ogini in Delta State. I was born before independence in 1959. I went to Government College Ughelli, Federal Government College Warri, and I studied medicine in the University of Ibadan. I left the University of Ibadan in 1984, went to Aba to practice medicine after my youth service.
Okay.
I have four children. This eldest one is a medical doctor in Germany. He's doing residency in orthopedics. I have a daughter, and they gave me a granddaughter. She's finished her master's. She's the administrator of our school. I have another one who is an engineer in Romania, is doing PhD, and I have the last one who just came from Europe, has a master's degree. I'm a farmer. I'm a school proprietor. I'm an author. Wow. I do several things. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm a clergyman. And also a missionary. I do mission work to African nations and beyond, to South Sudan, Sierra Leone, and several other nations. I teach what I call developmental Christianity. If the God we serve is the same God that the nation of Israel serves, and Israel has won several Nobel Prizes, the best in medicine, military prowess, agriculture, then that same God should make Nigeria and Nigerians who pray a lot to be, and Africans indeed, to be better human beings and live in a very good environment.
Thank you so much for that introduction. So we know who Dr. Charles Apoki is. For some of us that some of your videos during the NSAS movement, I particularly watched the Battle of the Oligarchies and the
how the oligarchy fight.
The oligarchy fights and the other one about the Iron Fist. That was, yeah, and I it makes so much sense in the sense that of the state in which our country is now. One thing I noticed about our country is that we pray a lot in our country. We pray and pray and pray, and we grew up to learn to be praying for the country. We pray for Nigeria, pray for our country. For those that are not Nigerians, definitely everybody grew up praying for their country, because that was a practice that our parents taught us. So the first question I want to ask is, there are two divides in Nigeria at the moment. We have the Sorosoke generation and the keeping quiet generation, the generation that believes in pray, and the generation that believes in act. So the question now is, how can these two generations work together to create a better Nigeria?
Okay. The Sorosoke generation are the descendants of people like us. We were raised up not looking at an elder straight to the face to talk. We were raised up being afraid of nearly everything, including trees in our communities. We were told that if you drink coconut water that you won't be intelligent, not knowing that the elders didn't have cold drinks to drink, so the coconut water, they wanted to drink it themselves. We were told that if you ate a can of sardine, that you will be a thief. Or if you ate egg, you will be a thief. But when we sent our children to school, our children got enlightened, got exposed. We gave them Western trainings that when I travel overseas, no person calls me Reverend Dr. Charles Apoki. They just call me Dr. Charles. They don't care who you are. They just Mr. President, Mr. Honorable. So this generation, there's a small video online now, one baby girl dragging a pack of noodles with her auntie. She said, give me my palliative, give me my palliative, give me my palliative. Then there is this child that was to be flogged by the mother. Mommy, calm down. Mommy, calm down. So we wanted our children to be what they are now, that we could not become. They don't fear anything. They don't fear. They have respect, but they cannot be gagged. So people like us act as a bridge. I don't have friends that are old. All my friends are below 40, young men. So I behave like a young man. I understand their needs. I understand their philosophies. So I'm able to relate with them, to give them direction for a new generation. People call me that they want me to be president, they want me to be governor of my state. Leadership is not in occupying offices. Leadership is not in titles. Leadership is responsibility, the response of your ability to the challenges of your generation. Leadership is the provision of direction. Leadership is mentoring. And when you are doing what I am doing today now, you provide methods. If the NSAS protesters had listened to that my tape, that my video, and not just admired it and shared it and used it as a working principle, we will not have needed to be shot at. They will have devised a different strategy. So methods. Then we provide models. I've lived my life in being a model to the next generation. I've been married for 35 years. I've seen the most beautiful women to the end of the world, Australia, the end of Africa, Madagascar, and all the Ethiopia. I don't do adultery because I want my children and the young men, millions of young men I mentor all over the world, to see that as a model. I don't drive against traffic. I don't take bribes. I don't give bribes. You don't do exam malpractice in my school. I don't do contracts. I don't run after politicians. So I'm providing a model. So my generation need to provide a model. Okay. We need to give them direction. We need to also provide resources for them. That is, a lot of your generation now, the benefits we had. I married as a youth copper. I bought a car as a youth copper. I was taking care of 2 parents. The opportunities we had, you don't have. And so we must provide materials for you to succeed, intellectual materials. And then you have strength and you have technological knowledge and exposure. I don't know how to do what I'm using to talk with you now. It's my son that is doing it. My son I've sent my son to America. I've sent him to Europe. So he comes back with all this knowledge, and I'm retiring. So he does what I'm supposed to be doing better. My last child has a very apt statement. He said, my generation should not run until we faint before we hand over the baton. He said, if we run and we faint, the children coming behind us will not know whether to resurrect us or to pick the baton and run. So the problem in Africa with Hussein Mubarak, Paul Biya, Buhari, Obasanjo, all over Africa, where Museveni, where old men rule until they die in office or they retire. In fact, Nigeria is ruled by retired people. You want to bring, that's why it is a tired nation. You want to bring chief of staff to Buhari, you can bring Gambari, an old man that might not be internet savvy. Minister for Information is Lai Mohammed. When you see him talk, you discover that he's in the 19th century. So you now find out that if we are to have a virile nation, we'll give the wisdom and the method to our children. Our children will use their energy, their exposure, their knowledge of technology, their detribalized minds to build a future. And so we must work with them and not look down on them. The Bible says, honor your father and your mother. But it also says, do not exasperate your children. We should not exasperate our children. We should give our children, our children are shouting, I can't breathe, like Floyd. We should give our children an opportunity to breathe and have a sense of belonging. And when they go wrong, we should correct them and not condemn them.
Thank you so much for that insight. Somebody is asking a question on Facebook. What is the topic? Just joined. Thank you, Temitope Akimboye. The topic is Emerge, the rise of a new nation, the birth of a new nation, of a new Nigeria, of a new country, whatever you are, on the face of the earth, the rise of your country to become the best in the world. So today, the second question I want to ask you, a follow up from what you just discussed now is, you were discussing the problem of Nigeria recently, and like the ones we mentioned, the battle of the oligarchs and the likes. What can you say is the number one problem, or number one problem we need to tackle in in our country, Nigeria, or in Africa in general?
Not only Africa. If you see Donald Trump, is a generation that is not the Obama generation, that is not a modern thinking individual, even in America. All over the world, there are more autocratic leadership coming up, even in China and elsewhere. You see, the first thing is that there must be a respect for the constitution of a nation. The governing and the moderating effect in any nation is their constitution. Number two, one of the roles we are supposed to play as the older generation of Nigerians and the new Nigerians. Let me tell you why some people are quiet in Nigeria. They are beneficiaries of the nonsense and the wrath and the decay. So you can't condemn what fits you and what you benefit from. So that's why a lot of people in my generation, governors, I keep telling people, Ambode of Lagos State was my junior at FGC Warri. So I'll come back to your question. But one of the things we need to do is that we must provide a model that made us who we are. In our old national anthem, there's a line or two lines that say, help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. So we must build a nation where no man is oppressed. We must build a nation from that same national anthem. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Those of us who went to federal government colleges and government colleges, we schooled with Muslims, we schooled with Christians, we schooled with people from all over the world. I had South Africans with me at FGC Warri. We did an exchange program with Castina Allah, Government College Castina Allah. People from the Niger Delta went to Castina Allah and they brought Beatrice and the rest people to the south. For those of us who did youth service, my children answer Igbo names. All my children answer Igbo names. And I speak Igbo. So I speak Igbo as an Igbo man. I live there. The Igbos are my friends. They've made me to a large extent to who I am now. I schooled in the University of Ibadan, went to Igbora, Lanlate, Ayete, Igogon, and all those places. So if we build the Nigerian, the federal government colleges were tailored towards building a new Nigeria where tribe and tongue did not matter. So Then the next thing we need to also do in this country, apart from the respect for the Constitution, we don't respect the Constitution in this country. We don't respect law and order. As I was driving here to come and do this recording with you, just to turn at a turning, there were about 4 lines of vehicles trying to turn. These individuals doing this rubbish in Nigeria, if they go to the UK, they dare not try it because they will be arrested, their licenses will be seized. In Australia, my friend bought a car. He didn't know the horn was not working for 2 years. He goes, you don't need to blare your horns. So we need to respect the law. This includes churches, policemen. So a church will be blaring their speakers and disturbing your sleep. Somebody will enter the vehicle you want to travel with and start shouting that he's praying. When I pray, you don't hear me because I respect my wife and respect my neighbors. Then value for human life. You see, the way our soldiers are trained, the way our policemen are trained, they are still trained to be like the agents of the colonial masters. I remember when they used to pursue people for tax in my village. People with the whole forest would just be running because somebody wants to collect a tax from you. Wow. So you now find that that's why it is Nigerian police force. It's a force. Mobile police force. So you now see that the soldier is trained very brutally, trained to see me as a bloody civilian. The policeman is trained to see us as potential criminals, not as their employers. When I was watching a video now, 2 men were flogging another man's wife. Maybe he committed adultery. Adultery is not an offense in Nigeria. It might be against the Bible, but you have no right to flog somebody because he committed adultery. I told people that there is SARS in all of us. Somebody wrote a poem about Otweke where Goodluck Jonathan came from. The youths caught that boy and flogged him. And the people flogging him might be university students. Until we have respect for human life and have value for human life. But our soldiers drink gari in the battlefield. They don't have water to drink sometimes. Our policemen live in some of the dirtiest barracks in the world. Our policemen buy their own shoes, if you see some of their rifles, they are sellotaped. An American was kidnapped, a 27-year-old American was kidnapped from Niger to Nigeria. Do you know that the Americans in 5 days came to rescue him? If you convert the cost of rescuing that American to Naira, it will be up to ₦1 billion. When you have hospitals that have no medication, you have nurses that do more than 1 shift at once, the value for human life, until we start to value human life in Nigeria, the budget will not work, the traffic will not be controlled, our streets will be dirty. The people ask me, why do I not fear? What will I fear? My schoolmate, a medical doctor, my colleague, a medical doctor, a nephrologist, was made to roll in the gutter at Airport Junction in Warri by somebody who joined the army with maybe primary 6. Wow. I saw the military flogging an elite northerner, an elite, beautiful, fine young man, came out of his SUV white to tell them that he was taking his pregnant wife to the hospital. And I saw these lousy soldiers descend on him and flog him. And then I saw Nigerians killing policemen. Why will you kill a policeman? I saw Nigerians during the COVID-19 lockdown using plan to whip your soldier. How can you flog your soldier? We don't have respect for human life in all spheres of Nigeria. Not only the police, not only the army, the politicians. How can you come to a tribunal and start denying the shooting in Lekki, and you start giving funny excuses, while Australia just came on air to apologize for the misdeeds of their soldiers in Afghanistan because they value human life. Corruption, when you steal money meant to build hospitals, it's because you don't value human life. When you cheat in an exam as a medical student, you don't value human life. I lecture in a Bible school. Husbands and wives cheat in Bible school exams. They don't have value for themselves. So if we must build, I have 30 toilets in my school building, 30 toilets, and I treat them like airport toilets. Somebody came and asked me, and somebody who was to come and inspect the school, and said, is this not too much for them? What is too much for my next generation? The next generation, what changed me today is because I went to school where I used tissue paper for the first time. I took my bath in a shower for the first time. And when I saw that I was going to school with the children of the elite, I've said severally that I schooled with the child of the secretary to the state government of Nigeria, Agodo, and my father was a refuse collector. So we must have social justice brought into this nation, where the child of a poor man like me, who was a security guard, worked in cemetery, carried refuse, can become a medical doctor and become an international star. Once our children have this value placed on them, Gilad Shalit was kidnapped in Gaza. Israel went out and to look for Gilad Shalit. 3,000 Palestinians were exchanged for one Jewish man. That is value for human life. Even though I don't like the Jewish attitude of imprisoning Palestinians and treating them like animals. So we must raise a nation that has value for the Constitution, value for human life, and then value for ourselves. When you say snakes swallowed money, how can snakes swallow money? We are saying that we are idiots in this part of the world. Remember that Nigeria has the highest number of graduates per family in the United States. We are the most intelligent human beings on earth. The Nigerian is the most, there is no place I have been to where a white man intimidated me. I was in an airport in Otopina, and a white man, I was discussing Jesus Christ with him, and he opened his mouth to ask me, do I know what is evolution? And I told him, your skin is whiter than my own, but my brain is whiter than your own. By the time I finish with you, I will mesmerize your brain. We are the most intelligent human beings on earth. And when we have rulers that behave like animals, they irritate some of us and make us feel ashamed to become Nigerians.
Wow.
When your children are crossing deserts to another man's country to go and pick tomatoes, you, the leader, you should be ashamed. My children, my son was coming from France, and a white man wanted to intimidate him. He said, I can't show you my passport. I've had my boarding pass. It's because he has a father that will fly to France to bring him back home if anything happens. My children don't fear. You don't intimidate even my daughter, because they have a father. Nigeria should be like a father the children should be proud of. You can't burn Nigerians in the streets of South Africa. South Africa, we fought for their independence. You can't burn Nigerians in the streets of South Africa. Then Abike Dabiri will delay and delay. Then it will take Peace Airline to go and lift Nigerians from South Africa. Private initiative while we are here. It was when I was a medical student, the king of Saudi Arabia used to send his family to the University College Hospital in Ibadan for treatment. I had people from Hong Kong as my classmates. I had people from the United States as my classmates in Nigeria here. We didn't need a visa to go to the UK with the UI and ID card. You could go to Guy's Hospital, London. The UCH was one of the best hospitals in the Commonwealth. But when you don't have drugs, you have a tattered hospital. Some of us are angry. And we must restore the pride of this nation by loving this nation and loving the people in this nation.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for that. If you have any question, please put your question in the comment sections, and we thank you. Thank you to those that have been contributing so far. God bless you. Please put your comment in the comment section and your question as well. A doctor is here to treat all the questions that we'll be having. So quickly, sir, to follow up from what you just said, the NSAS movement was going viral. We had attention from the international community, from the BBC, from the CNN, and all of a sudden it was ended. It was stopped abruptly by force. So how can we as a nation mobilize ourselves to rise up against the evil that we have, the brutality, the nepotism, the tribalism that we have in our nation?
The first thing is that the NSAS movement, they didn't listen to people like us when we made our broadcast. They were more interested in sharing it than listening to people like me who have fought several battles for this nation. Number one, if you want a change in the nation, you don't win it at once. If you win it at once, you who even led the protest don't benefit from it. Yugoslavia, under President Tito, was a nation. And then it broke up with revolution. Broke up into Albania, Montenegro, Serbia, Kosovo, and all the nations. And a lot of lives were lost. Mubarak was removed in Egypt at once. And then what happened? There was counter coups and counter protests, and today Egypt is in a very dire situation. Muammar Gaddafi was removed at once, and then Libya is in crisis. And in Algeria, one young man set himself on fire, and then the ruler ran away. And then Algeria, Tunisia is still having its own crisis. So when we said end SARS and the government made a move in the direction of your protest, we should have consolidated that move first, without bloodshed, without the military coming in, because I told them that the military will be sent and they will be driven into exile, they will be pushed, they will be terrorized. So when Buhari, you can't tell Buhari to leave. Buhari was elected. You can't just drive Buhari out. More than 12 million people voted for him. He comes from a segment of the nation. He comes from a community. He belongs to a religion. And so, when we got that of NSAS and we went to 5+5, we should have called elders to come and mediate. Call Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh Gumi is a reasonable Muslim scholar. He's a medical doctor. Call Colonel Umar. Call Abdul Salami. Call Oshibanjo. Call Obasanjo. Call Goodluck Jonathan. Call Femi Falana or his son. You see, then we will have had dialogue not only to end SARS, but to improve police welfare, improve police training, and all that. Then after that, we'll give a timeline, set up another period of negotiation for other ills in the nation to be met. But now, NSAS has not died because, let me tell you, the crisis, these children, I'm sorry, I'm calling them children, they are my children, that's why I'm concerned. These young men and women have broken the barrier of fear. They are not afraid to die because they have nothing they are living for. And my generation must be very careful. If it is all this your old AK-47 and bullets they bought from Serbia in 2005, you think these children are afraid of them? If you keep pressing them to the wall, they will come out more violently. And they are more scientific than you. So the government should start listening to the dialogue and the protest online, whatever people like me and you are saying, and then ameliorate that. But let me tell you the sectional interests that are breeding the crisis. Now, one of the problems in Nigeria is that apart from the oligarchy and the ordinary citizen in the streets, the oligarchy is a detribalized, oppressive, internal colonialist. But there are amongst them an elite oligarchists who feel that they have a right to perpetually rule this country, perpetually dominate this country, perpetually control the resources of this nation from only a small segment of this country. They are dwelling on an old history that is no longer tenable in this nation. That the jihad killed Afonja in Ilorin and you put an emir in Ilorin does not mean that the Yoruba speaking man will remain your slave perpetually. That you defeated the Igbo man during the Civil War does not mean that you will subject the Igbo man to a second-class citizen in his own nation. And I said that according to Chris Agiris, in his management of organizational conflict, that for any normal psychologically mature man, any normal psychologically mature adult, a time comes when his personal interest comes in conflict with organizational goals. What is happening in Nigeria is that the present design of Nigeria is in conflict with regional, tribal, and generational goals.
Yes, sir.
We are a multi-religious, multi-ethnic group. Regionalism has failed. There's no longer North. We have Fulani headsmen. I go and interview Northerners. I interviewed the man I buy dollars from or the man I buy wristwatches from. He said that what Fulani headsmen are doing in southern Nigeria, that it is only 5% of the wickedness that they are doing here, that the 95% of the wickedness that they do where they come from. He is from Sokoto State. He says that he cannot access his village. He cannot access his town.
Wow.
I interviewed Northerners from Balewa local government area, where if you as a Christian drinks water in the secondary school from the same container that the Muslims are drinking water from, they will pour the water away, that you have contaminated it. So the oppression of the Amajiris in the north and the utilization of the Amajiris as instrument of rigging elections and warfare is going to end when the Almajiris suddenly realize that during COVID-19 lockdown, they were transported to their states of origin and were rejected from where they have been used to cause mayhem.
Wow.
So, if we are to have a Nigeria, we must have a Nigeria where the best is presented by the 6 geopolitical zones. I have said that one man ruling 200 million intelligent and diligent people cannot succeed. Somebody asked me in South Africa, Springs, he said, Nigerians, you are criminals. I said, shut up your dirty white mouth. Criminality is intelligence looking for a manifestation. Looking for an avenue for manifestation in the midst of oppression and deprivation. When Nigerians are oppressed and deprived of the liberty to be Nigerians, they will want to become Biafra. They want to become Oduduwa. They want to become Middle Belt states. So what do we do? Let's have a 6-man presidential council. Bring your president from the northwest. Bring your president from like as in Spain. Bring your president from the southwest. Bring your president from the south-south. Bring your president from the southeast. Let's not have national parties. It is a method of colonizing all of us again. Let us have regional parties. Do your election in Northwest. Don't come here to campaign. We don't go there to campaign. One, it will reduce costs. It will lead to internal competition to bring out the best to represent each region. And it will lead to equity. By the time you rotate the president's child spokesman, in 12 years, the Igbos will have become president, a Yoruba man will have become president, a Middle Belt, North Central will have become president, and then the contention for the control of this dirty oil money, dirty Nigerian oil money is not up to the budget of New York City or even Bronx. The money we are fighting for that has led to what is called Dutch disease in economics is dirty, cheap, small money. So when you assuming Buhari was representing a segment of this country, and another person from the north is representing another person, and then you share the portfolios. Defense belongs to one man, external affairs, internal affairs, petroleum, and you share portfolios. There is a uniform distribution of power from the center. And then remove the Senate. The Senate is a waste.
I think we lost Doctor there. I'm sure he's going to be joining us again. So please make sure you don't leave.
Take care of development. A country where political office holders take 25% of the budget of the country is a country that can never develop. And so each segment of these 6 political zones can have a right to recall their president if he was not doing well. If Buhari was not doing well, it is not we that say Buhari must go. It is his own people that will say Buhari must come back so that we can have somebody to represent us well. Because you know you have only 2 years in that place.